All right, welcome everybody. This is Peter Renna here with the first installment of a possible new series of videos I'm going to try to do going forward, which are explained videos. Now, I spent a lot of time the last 2 weeks looking at all these Hawkeye books for Dollar Bin Digging, and in doing so, I just really kind of dived into this Fraction series, which is a great run. I got all the trades here, 1 through 4, and it is an excellent read and definitely something that I think they're going to hit up with on the Disney Plus show that's coming later in the year. So I figured a lot of people might not know certain aspects about this, about the bad guys in this show. So I figured, why not just do a quick little video that's just focusing in on that and explaining how things go. So we'll see how this goes, see if you guys like this kind of format. But I'm basically going to just occasionally, it's not going to be a weekly thing, but I'll occasionally just do a little explanation type video on different topics as they come up. But as I just mentioned, this week we're going to be doing it on the tracksuit Draculas. So who are the tracksuit Draculas, or the tracksuit mafia, which they can also be called? There's a lot of jokes that you can go with this. I mean, I even put it in here with all the bros. So this is my explanation for the tracksuit Draculas. It's basically the Russian mob in there, and they're what appears to be knockoff. Well, I don't want to say knockoff, but they're like Adidas tracksuits for the most part. You can even kind of see the little logo drawn on most of them, but they can't outright say that it's Adidas, but we can see who they are. So who are these guys? I mean, apart from just being a Marvel version of the Russian mafia, what else can we say about them during this run? Because they are really the main antagonist, if you will, throughout the run. There was a couple of little one-off stories through here. Like there was a Madame Mask, Kate Bishop issue that just kind of interjected throughout the run, which kind of plays a little bit out of order at times. Well, you might get a one-off issue that just kind of breaks up the storyline just for a beat, and then get back to it, or even come back to a story and finish in the same place, but from a different angle, as they did with this issue 10 for introduction of the clown, basically. But before we get into that, let's just start. Let's start at the beginning. So they obviously first appeared in the issue 1 of the My Life as a Weapon run, which kind of introduced this idea of Hawkeye as this kind of like a street level guy, very very relatable in a sense. Like he's not bigger than life. He's not. He's an Avenger, but everybody keeps confusing him for Iron Fist throughout the run. It's not played too much as a joke. Like he's not a joke, but there's a bit of humor throughout this series, and it's very welcome in my opinion. So you guys all know. I mean, I've already talked about this first issue, and then the multiple printings with the purple third prints and what have you. And then there's this awesome 1 in 25, the grand off of this, which I actually just ordered one for myself. I found it at a decent price, so I got one of these on the way. Maybe show that in my next pickups video if it gets here in time. That being said, again, right off the bat, we're just kind of introduced right into this story where we see Ivan, who is one of the low level, I guess, leaders you would say of this these tracksuit mafia, tracksuit Dracula group. And he's basically shaking down the tenants of his building. They're looking to kind of oust these people, I think, to sell it. There's some developers. I don't know if they're making a shopping mall or whatever. I don't know, but the whole run of this series just kind of revolves around this building and how Hawkeye messes things up right from the jump here, with basically outright buying this building from the mob forcibly. We'll get to that. But as I said, this is where we see the first referred to as the tracksuit mafia, by Clint as a little in joke, I guess, and he just kind of carried through throughout the story. And again, you can see their little Adidas jumpsuit there. They got the Gryffindor colors rocking through a lot of this with the maroon and gold. But Hawkeye just he does what he thinks is right, and he basically forcibly goes and takes this building over for himself to kind of protect the people inside and just get himself a place where he can hang his hat. And also, this is where we get introduced to Lucky the pizza dog. Here, I think he went by a different name, but he basically takes their dog because they mistreat him, and he makes a friend out of this. And this is where we get Lucky. So all the people buying those later issues, which we might get a Lucky story. I mean, Lucky's here in this first issue. So if you really want the first Lucky the dog, it's issue 1 as well. So there's a lot of firsts in that first issue of this run. So if you can find it in one of the many printings, go ahead, grab one, especially if it's at a good price. So again, moving on, you can see he just rolls up into the little gambling den and just basically says, this building's gonna be mine. He wrecks the place, beats them all up, and just kind of takes a leaves the money behind and kind of just takes control of this building from the Russian mob. And they're of course none too happy about it, and they come searching him out later throughout the issue. There's also a bit again things kind of play a little bit with time in this story. We're going to jump back and forth throughout the story of where it is, and there's an incident with Lucky and how we really see how he comes to own the dog by the end of this first issue. I mean, they come hassling him at the vet because there was a little accident on the street, with the dog. And, he puts him in their place. And as I said, Lucky becomes his dog. I think his name was Arrow, which, as a goofy little, nickname for a superhero dog would go. They, of course, don't want to play into that. So Clint says, come up with something better. And that's how I think we end up with Lucky. So that was in that first issue. Again, it introduces these guys and the menace that is to come. They're a little bit goofy at first, easily handled, seem to just be like a one-off villain. But as I said, they kind of run throughout this entire title. We come back into issue 3, and this introduces us to this character of Cherry. And she kind of becomes like a little bit of a love interest for Clint here. And it ends up, being that she is tied in with this, with the tracksuit guys, basically. This is Ivan's estranged or runaway wife, I guess, if you will. So Clint really gets in deep with these guys as this goes on, and she gets him to try to help her out, trying to buy her car from her, and they have a little connection that runs throughout this series, and they kind of delve into a lot of the relationships that Clint has had throughout his tenure in comics, from the Black Widow bits, being married to Mockingbird. And what have you. But this is all stuff they probably really won't hit that kind of thing up in the show because, in the Marvel Universe, he's a happily married man with a family. And after everything that he went through in losing, they're not going to go into these weird little side trysts and trying to basically make him like, the Matt Murdock of the MCU or anything like that. Because we already got Matt Murdock for that. And hopefully they bring him in to play that role. But just keep going on here. I mean, we get through the first basic arc and hit up through issue 6. And again, these guys, they run throughout the whole thing. They're the tough guys that are just trying to get this building back, and they don't appreciate, what Clint has done. And again, there's all the bros. Bro. Really reminds me of that Canadian broad who used to be on the cooking channel. I can't think of her name, but she used to always say bro. And I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing that I'm not aware of. But I just find all the bros amusing. So with that said, the tough guys, they all show up. They come grab Clint. And they basically bring him back, and then we get introduced to, I guess, their bigger boss, above Ivan here, and he's basically just telling them, "Hey, look, you messed with us, by taking the building and Ivan's wife, and this is it. You're gonna leave the building, or we're gonna kill everybody in there." So basically throws down this ultimatum, which of course Clint is considering. How's he gonna put all these people at risk? And as he's telling this to Kate, who's also a side character throughout this run as well. Not the main focus, but definitely involved. But you can see she's not none too happy with him considering giving up. And I mean, you can even right here, this running away thing. It's everything about you that sucks. Like, she is going to be a very, I think, direct character, and I think that'll resonate with a lot of people if played well on screen. So I'm really looking forward to her showing up, because I think she's a good character, and I think they cast a good actress to play her. So that said, just gonna keep rolling through this series just really quickly, as fast as I can, because I don't want to drag this out for too long. Because you get the basic idea. I mean, it's a mob. Like, everybody has their cliched ideas of what a mafia group would be with everything that they might be involved in. So I mean, we don't get too deep, too far in the weeds with this, but we'll just hit up with issue 8, which again, we get into some of the relationship here with Clint and Cherry, and she's got him, basically breaking into where she works. I think she worked at this strip club here, and they just kind of infiltrate it, bust up the place, and rob it for the safe that's there in the back. And she's kind of got him following her lead a little bit, and he's just trying to be a good guy and do the right thing, but he's just kind of getting led around by his member, I guess, a bit. And you can see that, they kind of go their separate ways here for a little bit during this story as Clint gets arrested. And, it's bigger than just this tracksuit Dracula group goes. We see that this ties into the larger criminal underworld of the Marvel New York, syndicate kind of scene. So we're seeing, all the heavy hitters from the Kingpins and the, Hammerheads and what have you, and they Typhoid Mary's even there, and they basically hire an assassin, the Clown. So we get this little tease here at the end of issue 8, with just basically that symbol, and we don't really get an actual intro. So I wouldn't call this even a cameo personally, but it is what it is. I would say the real cameo kind of hits in the next issue, issue 9, which I have the second print because I like the purple. I thought it was a worthwhile pickup. But even in that, he's not that prevalent in this issue either. This is even just a cameo as well. But in this one, we just got to get, again, as I mentioned before, we get a little bit of the ex-wife, Mockingbird, who is rumored to show up on the Disney Plus show. Again, I don't think they're going to play it out the same way. I don't think they'll give Clinton ex-wife. I mean, maybe his current wife actually is the former Mockingbird, for all we know. I forget who might have mentioned that, and I think in one of the comments of one of my other videos, and I thought, that's actually a good idea. I mean, that's something they might actually do. Could be. Who knows? We'll find out more. We definitely will find out more come the end of the year. But so we get her, and then she basically catches, she's also a superhero as well. So she notices these guys hanging out front, up to no good. So these tracksuit guys, and their Gryffindor colors, she goes down there and takes them all out, basically saying, what's the deal with these tracksuit guys? And, these guys are also hassling Kate along the way as well. They are a thorn in everyone's side throughout the entire run of this series, and I think that's basically what this first series will probably kind of follow. If it makes sense to me that this six episode, or however many episodes they might do in this Disney Plus run, this limited series, it'll probably follow this entire arc, would be my guess. I don't think they're going to stretch it out past that. I think maybe we'll get some sort of version of most of the beats that hit throughout this 22-issue series. That's kind of where I'm at now in my thinking. I was thinking that maybe it'll just be introductions. Maybe we'll just get a taste of like this class. But no, I think they're just going to give us a shortened version or a tightened up storyline here with maybe some of the extras, taken out. But we'll see. Again, that's still months away. This is all just, guesses on my part. Who knows? But basically, we just get this cameo of the Clown here at the end where he takes out one of the tenants of Hawkeye's building, basically. I think his name was Gil. Or something like that. There was like a grill kind of joke kind of thing going between them. Like, you don't know my name. He's calling him Hawkeye or something. So a lot of fun and a lot of, you can see camaraderie amongst the tenants, which you come to know a few of them. Like, yeah. But as I said, issue 10 really is the first full, I guess you would say, of this clown character, this hitman, Kaz. Again, a lot of consonants in there. I'm not even going to pretend to try to pronounce the full name of this character here, so I'm just going to call character Kaz or the Clown, and we'll see what happens. But this issue just kind of basically gives a backstory on this assassin a little bit, and his ties with the the criminal underworld, basically, and just kind of goes through that story. And what I found interesting is it kind of ends up in the same place as end of issue 9, just from a different angle. Now that we've gotten the backstory how the Clown got here, this is how we get to this point. So we basically have 2 issues being told, but we're still not any further than we were, the month before. So it's kind of one of those little pauses that I had mentioned at the outset. And these guys, again, throughout issue 15 is another interesting bit where, we've also got Clint's brother, Barney, is introduced in here into this series. Not introduced, but introduced to the series. And I know I've talked about him as possible trick shot and some of the other things throughout the series, but maybe we don't see him as a villain. Maybe we just see him in this role as Clint's brother that we just get introduced to, and we see how the two work together. And as the Clown machinations are in play here, as the tracksuit Draculas are just trying to hire this assassin to go take out the thorn in their side of Clint Barton. So they keep hassling the team: Hawkeye, Barney, Kate, and all the tenants. And this is surprised that they stay in. I mean, these guys are really no good. I mean, look, this guy's holding a baby hostage. Like, that's not cool. Like, these guys, these are not good dudes. So they deserve everything they get in this. And we get that, Barney basically comes through and chucks, 2 of them, I think, off the fire escape. So yeah, this isn't for the faint of heart. This isn't, we'll lock them up and let the cops take everybody away. Like, some of these guys, they don't have happy endings. So with that said, you can see as this issue goes on, the Clown is basically stalking, Clint, and he's here hiding, and he surprises and deafens him. He basically stabs him through the ears with an arrow and shoots his brother. Like he ain't playing. Like this issue ends, and it's in a rough spot. So these guys ain't playing. This is a good midpoint, I think, for a series if they keep it going. And then we'll jump ahead just a couple more issues. I think there was like a random pause break issue. Like I said, the Madame Mask thing, I think was somewhere in here in this part of the run too, to kind of give that story break. But with 19, we're at a point where basically Hawkeye's deaf and his brother's in a wheelchair due to what the clown had done to them. And then we get Ivan rolling back into town because he'd been basically kind of sent away for, I guess, kind of messing things up at the start with letting Clint move in on the building. But they're bringing him back in because they still have their final play to try to get this building back and take care of the Avenger that's in their way. So here we are, issue 21. We're right in here, the end of the series. This is the penultimate issue, and they're coming. Like these guys, they're saddling up for war. They're loaded for bear, and they're going in. They're rushing on like it's like a castle siege, and it's even played up like that. Like I think there was some oil or fire that the Clint had dropped on them, like they're charging a moat. That they basically treating this building like it's a castle. So these guys rush in. We get the battle with the clown starting with Hawkeye here. You can see they basically get the jump on both Barney and Clint. I mean, one's in a wheelchair, one's deaf. They got him again, and they got him locked down. And this is the apparent death of Barney here, of his brother. Now, I don't know if they're going to do this or we're going to see him die, but in the comics it's comic books. Like they could easily write this off. There's no real definitive end here. They always bring him back as they do in comics, but in this issue 21, this is about as bad as it can get. His brother's lying there dead in his arms, but then you get that little bit of hope when Lucky has got an arrow in his mouth and Clint's ready to go back. He's ready to fight back. So that brings us to issue 22, which was in Dollar Bin last week as a pick of something to look out for. So it still is if you can find these later issues for cheap, because they're not as hard to find. Everybody wants those early issues and those later printings, but these last couple of issues are great and integral to the story, and I would say grab them even just to read them if you can find them for cheap. So in our final issue, we get Cherry back, and you can see that safe that they had stolen earlier brought back into play. There's her estranged husband, Ivan, and they're having a little bit of a standoff, and the clown is basically just trying to wrap things up, and Clint's coming back in to fight. So here we go. Like this is it. This is the last rush, and we get Kate coming back, with Lucky, and we're getting all the characters converging all at once. So clown fight with Clint. It's an excellent fight scene, well done. The art in this is gorgeous. The David Aja run is it's just great. And the Matt Hollingsworth colors is fantastic. It's just a fantastic looking book. It's a great read. Highly recommend it. However you can pick them up, whether it be the floppies or the trades. I just say check it out, and check it out before the series airs if you're that interested, because I really think this is what we're going to see a lot of. So back just wrapping us up here. So you can see like the clown, he's got that little trick gun hidden up the sleeve like the bad guy in Red Heat, and he shoots Clint. And it looks like that's it. Like this is, I know where I left off on the Dollar Bin video, but of course that's not how things end up. And you can go bounce back between the story of what's going on with Clint and the clown, and with Kate and Ivan here. And as that one plays out, you can see that Kate basically has him within sights with a gun, but he's talking her down like she's not going to do anything, and she throws him the gun and arrow through the hand. Of course, Clint is down. Clown is right there, with gun pointed down him in his sights. Kate jumps in, gives him that distraction. Fight continues. Toothpick comes out. Clint takes down the clown. I don't believe the clown is dead here. I mean, the implication is it can go either way. It's just the fight is basically done, and the cops come on the scene, wrap everybody up. So while there are plenty of deaths to be had, not everything is that grim, I guess, at the end of this. And of course, we get all these crime lords again back at the end of the series. Owlsley, Mr. Negative there. Madame Mask shows up. Hammerhead as before, and Kingpin, of course. And they're basically just saying we still got to take care of these two, both of them. And the series just kind of wraps up with Clint and Kate still together and ready to take all comers. And then it rolls into another series. I mean, we get another series of, I think, like 6 issues, I think, with these two together. And then Kate gets her own solo after that. But again, that was kind of the rundown of the entire run. So it was a bit of explaining the villains, as well as just giving you kind of a run recap all in one. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you like videos like this, just let me know. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Hit the alert bell so you know when I'm dropping things, because I'm going to be focusing more on my channel now. Myself with some of these other things that I kind of want to try out and do, and see what works and see what I'm having fun with. So hopefully you are enjoying it as well, and tell your friends, get me some more subscribers, and we'll just keep rolling on. So I guess I'll see you guys next time.